Welcome to Thursday, January 8th, 2026. Grant Lawson and the law firm for truck safety want to remind everyone that dangerous conditions can happen in a flash on Wyoming roads. Give law enforcement and snowplows extra space to do their jobs. Please, for everyone's sake, when it's icy, snowy, and blowing, slow down and save lives. Well, a little bit of weather coming our way finally. Little bit, but not a lot. But for some of you, especially in southern Colorado, parts of New Mexico, and parts of southwest Kansas, you actually have a small little winter storm coming your way, as the Pacific system, coming in two pieces, is going to slide through today and tomorrow. But it's going to be quite a bit colder, not Arctic cold, but colder than it's been. Then high pressure will build in over the weekend. Now, this high pressure ridge will settle in over the weekend into Monday and Tuesday, but a little bit of a northwest flow pattern develops on the eastern side of the high pressure ridge. So there might actually be, especially in the mountains, a little bit of weather coming in Tuesday and Wednesday as the pattern is going through this readjustment phase. Then we're going to see this huge, and I mean it is a big high pressure ridge, is just going to blow up over the far eastern Pacific and along the west coast up into western Canada by late next week. Now, this high pressure ridge is going to be the conductor, so to speak, of how the weather is going to go starting late next week. And where that high pressure ridge goes, is it going to be along the west coast? Is it going to stay in the Pacific? How long will it last? Well, that's going to just direct the weather. So we just have to see how that unfolds. But it will send colder weather in, at least for a short while, late next week and next weekend. But after that, a lot of question marks. Look at that shot. Beautiful shot of a bald eagle from Yankton, South Dakota. And boy, I tell you, these sunrises and sunsets have just been incredible. But we will have a lot more in the way of clouds and unsettled conditions, and less in the way of beautiful lenticular-shaped clouds, and those colors just absolutely amazing. And there's another shot of it, another standing lenticular near the Douglas area with the constant wind. And yeah, there's one place that's been getting weather lately, and that's where all the snowbirds have gone to. All the snowbirds have gone to where there's actually weather. Down in Arizona again with some areas of rain and snow, and the mountains of Arizona will be getting snowed on today. I want to alert you to a really great opportunity here of a free weather book that everyone is familiar with. Jan Curtis and his awesome photos and other insights on weather and clouds across Wyoming and the West. Well, he, along with Stanley here, put together a free PDF book on weather called The Wonders of the Atmosphere. A lot of Jan's photos are in this, and this is a great resource. You know, there's really, in my opinion, not a lot of great weather resources if you just want to learn about how the weather works. It's either going to be a textbook or it might be a children's book. There's kind of nothing really in between for the layperson to learn a lot. And what's great about this is that it's free. So if you look at the link at the bottom, and I'll show you another link here in a bit, awesome photos and awesome scientific explanations about how the atmosphere works from Jan and Stanley. So there's the website link. Go, it's a wonderful resource. It's a great PDF to download. I highly recommend it. Now, the satellite photo this morning actually shows something we haven't seen in a while. When's the last time we had a big curl right here in the nation's midsection? We've got a low here, that low that kicked out what's left of the California storm, and then the colder low from British Columbia is coming in behind it. So there's actually weather in some parts of the country, and you can really see this here on the water vapor loop. The water vapor loop coming on in, showing the two areas of low pressure. This one coming in behind it. This is the more mild, moist part of the pattern. This is the colder part of the system that's coming on in. And look at the radar this morning. They actually had to dust off the radar in portions of Kansas and Oklahoma and Texas this morning to show that there was something coming through. The Denver radar as well. They had to make sure it was still working. Now what we're going to see is the colder weather come in, mountain snow showers back here with the colder Pacific air. The deeper moisture, though, is with this system right here. Nonetheless, we've got winter weather advisories. And look at this, winter storm warnings for a large part of New Mexico, central and southern Colorado. So there's going to be some weather with it, and really coming into areas in the southern Rockies that haven't seen a lot of weather at all, a lot like the central Rockies and the central high plains. So you can see the two parts of the system. The more moist part is the Pacific wave coming through right here. The colder but drier part of the system coming in with that British Columbia low. Nonetheless, it is finally going to bring a little bit of winter before the system heads up into the upper Midwest, pours in some much colder Canadian air into the Northwest Corn Belt and the Great Lakes by the upcoming weekend. And here's that high pressure ridge that's nosing on in. Now, what happens after this is part of the readjustment phase, that Control-Alt-Delete I talked about yesterday. So as we get into the weekend, that high pressure begins to build. And between now and Sunday, this is where the precipitation is going to fall. You can see this area of blue here where that better Pacific moisture is into these areas where that heavier moisture will be. More scattered snows, a dusting of snow here and there, some colder temperature readings, nothing to write home about except in those southern areas where the snowfall, pretty impressive here in southern Colorado along Raton Pass, along I-25, and around Santa Fe, even the Sandias around Albuquerque and the Zuni Mountains of western New Mexico going to get some snow. Good snow, nice shot for the Wasatch and some of the ski areas of Colorado that could really use it. So what happens after that? And this is a little bit more of the same map I just showed you, showing what will come into the Great Lakes and parts of the Northwest Corn Belt this weekend. So by Tuesday, we start to see the establishment, the beginnings of this high pressure ridge, which is going to be a dominant feature in our forecast as we go into next week. This is by Tuesday. Notice I talked about a northwest flow pattern. So there is some northwest flow, and there will be some Pacific moisture with it coming up, over, down, and around. So this may produce a little bit of weather here as we get into the Tuesday, Wednesday time frame in the form of mountain snow and maybe some snow showers across the low elevations. And since it's northwest flow, it'll be a cool air mass, not a really cold one here, but cool compared to where we've been lately. Then what happens after this is quite remarkable. Watch what happens with this high and the general flow pattern once we get to the end of the week. The system on Tuesday approaches British Columbia on Wednesday. This is the up, over, and down part that we showed you yesterday. So this is Tuesday. This is Wednesday. That low crashes the British Columbia coast. The high pressure ridge stays near San Francisco. And then by Friday, look at the amplification. This is remarkable. In 2 days, look at how the pattern changes. That high just explodes and builds strongly along the west coast and along the coast of British Columbia, which in turn just basically physically changes the jet stream pattern remarkably quickly and allows this trough to form across the central and western United States, allowing colder Canadian air in and a little bit of moisture, with this low slinking back over to near Salt Lake City. So as we get into Friday and the following weekend, this high pressure ridge is going to send winter weather into the lower 48. The question is what happens with this massive ridge? Is it going to poke inland a little bit more? Is it going to stay steady? Is it going to want to be over here a little bit? Is it going to move down? This is a dominant feature. I'll show you how dominant it is when we take a look at the hemispheric pattern. When we look at the hemispheric pattern, when you take a look at it by Friday of next week, if you look at the whole northern hemisphere and you look at the scope of a ridge and its intensity, yeah, we've got a ridge here out into the North Atlantic. Yeah, that's impressive, but look at this. This is just massive. So what this high pressure ridge does, how long it lasts, is this going to end up becoming an omega block? There's a little bit of an omega shape to it right here. That's a good question. We'll put a big question mark on it or not. Highs like this can become quite strong and quite robust, but they may sometimes go 5 to 7 days before they break down, or they may go a little bit longer. This is a recipe for a Santa Ana for California later on. We'll have to watch that. Anybody remember the Santa Ana winds of January of last year? That's something that is on the table for California that we have to look long term. So there's a whole different set of circumstances right now. By late next week, this is going to be the factor and the feature of where it goes or where it stays and how long it lasts. But it will send wintry weather into the western United States and the high plains for at least a period of time late next week and into next weekend. Have yourself a very good Thursday. We'll have more for you on Friday.